Hi everyone, so this is part 2 video on the tuition reimbursement process. Part 1 video we went over on how to submit a pre-approval request into the DHL tuition manager website, which is here. We had the employee development form that we obtained our supervisor signature on it, and we provide them the supporting documents in this case, and we are seeking for pre-approval from the tuition manager website. And after a few days, they approved it, and here is what my email shows. So I received an email say it's coming from no reply at tuition.hostedhr.com, and it said request approved, and this is the pre-approval ID. Note that in the content, it's not much going on because our pre-approval letter is inside this tuition manager website. It is not going to be shown on the email. So we have to manually go inside and obtain our DHL pre-approval letter. And for those that, if this is your first time submitting the tuition reimbursement website, you don't know what is the DHL approval letter looks like. So I'm going to walk you through step by step. So before we start our step 2 or video part 2, which is to submit an expense report in FSP to get our money back, I want to go over on all the required documents that we need. So we need 5 different documents, and the first one is the EDF Employee Development Fund form, which is what we had here, because we all have to have this form first, obtain our signatures from our supervisors, and submit it to this website. So we all have this form already. The second one is the supporting documents. For example, if I have an invoice or I have a renewal notice showing everybody that this is the amount I'm going to seek for reimbursement. You should have it as well, because otherwise your supervisor won't approve this form. So we all submitted into this website. So number 1 and 2, we went over this in part 1 video. In part 2 video, which is the real expense report, we're seeking for our money in FSP. You need additional documents. Other than 1 and 2, we need 3, 4, and 5. So we need to show our proof of payment. In this case, it could be a bank or credit card statement showing your name and the payment itself. If you don't have a bank statement or credit card statement to serve as your proof of payment, you can have something like an email receipt. An email receipt has to show your name as well, and it has to show the payment method, because we need to know that you are the one who incurred expenses. So if you have an email receipt that shows your name and it said that, okay, you paid $100 through PayPal or you paid $100 through Visa card, that's a okay proof of payment. Sometimes we need a proof of completion if there is one, because if you attended a training or if you attended a class, you should have a certificate that shows that you completed this class. Or if you received a grade, let's say you got a B+, that grade should serve as your proof of completion as well. And of course, that grade sheet shows your name and the grade itself and what kind of class you're taking. But sometimes you don't have to show the proof of completion for tuition reimbursement. Sometimes some union has a really good MOU that you are able to reimburse for your cell phone or a laptop. In this case, we don't ask for any completions. So this is optional for number 4. It really depends if you are taking a class or not. And lastly, we need a DHL pre-approval screenshot. So the DHL pre-approval, I would say a letter. So we need to obtain the screenshot from our tuition manager website, which is why I showed the email at the beginning. This email just tells us that we got this request approved, but we have to download our pre-approval letter. So what are we going to do now? We're going back to our tuition manager website here. If you forgot how to get here, I can do this again. So all you need to do is you go to Google and you'll be typing SF.gov tuition reimbursement, and your first website will be here, and you'll click this. And you will scroll down to step number 2. You have to log in. You click this. I already logged in, so let's log back in again. So you have to type in your DSW number and type your password. So you got back to the Tuition Manager website. You click Pre-Approval Request, which shows you all the previous requests you have. And this is the one I submitted a few days ago, and the status from pending to approved right now. So you'll click your pre-approval ID here. And it said approved, and you can download your forms again if you lost them. And here is the history and notes. So you click this one. So this page serves as your number 5 here. DHL pre-approval letter screenshot. Just one shot, okay. And this is the one. So how do you download this page? So what you're going to do is you're going to click File, and you will click Print. And sometimes you'll see a printer here. We're not going to print this out. We're going to convert this as a PDF file. So you will select Adobe PDF here, and you will select this, and you will click Print. And now you want to download your page to a certain location. So I will put this in one of my folder. I will name this as a DHL pre-approval letter, and I saved it. And if I go back to my folder, I can open up my screenshot, and this is how my screenshot looked like. So this screenshot, what we asked for is that we need to show your name. We need to show the pre-approval request ID here. It said approved. Sometimes the pre-approval letter will specifically tell us what are you seeking for reimbursement for. So if you are seeking for membership or you're seeking for a training class, but in this case they don't show anything here. They just said that I have $149 approved. So that's why we need more documentations. We need you to submit the supporting documents and the rest of the information, because just by this letter itself, it's not going to tell us anything. So this letter also serves as a instructions, but not many people read them because it's all packed up and there isn't much spacing here. And a lot of people skip this step. They're not reading it. So I hope you find this video helpful, because I'm going to tell you all the little tips on how to submit an expense report. Even tell you that over here you have to enter the DHL pre-approval request ID first in the event name field, and enter the locations in the location field, and enter your department in the pre-authorization number field. But if you're just reading this, you have no ideas what are you going to need to do. And you see your budget field, budget chart field here. This is where the money is coming from to fund your reimbursement. I'll show you how this form going to work, but you will just have to download this form first. So this is the completed letter. So you saved it. So the next step is to submit an expense report in FSP. So once you get all this documentation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the one we just downloaded, is number 5, the pre-approval letter. Next step, what you're going to do is you have to go to FSP. So you can just go to Google and you can type SF.gov employee portal. So you just type SF.gov employee portal and you search. The first link you see, you just click this. So it said welcome to SF employee gateway. So if you scroll down, SF employee portal is what you need. You click this. I already logged in, but if this is your first time logging in, I'll show you the login page. So let me log out. I'll click this one more time. Alright, still logged in. Okay. Okay, so this is the login page. Your username is going to be your DSW number. Some people start with a 0. And your password is going to be your email password. It's going to be exactly the same as your email password. So you type it and you sign in. Okay. I don't know why we had this error message, but here we go. This is the employee portal. It's the same as this one because I logged out, so I have to restart this again. So you click SF employee portal here, and you will get to this page. And this is your portal. So it takes some time to load up. You'll click My Links, and you will click Employee Links here. This is where you initiate or you request an expense report. So you have the expense request, you have cash advances, you have cash authorizations. So what you need is you're going to this expense request. The first one is the request expense reimbursement. So there are differences between these different sections. Request expense reimbursement is that if this is your first time creating an expenses, you're going to click this one. For manage expense reimbursement, that means if you already created one, you saved it, but you have not yet submitted them, you can come back and modify it. Another time is that if you created an expense report, but that expense report got pushed back and you have to modify it, you'll always come back to the manage expense reimbursement. But most of the time, you're going to create a brand new expense report. So you will click request expense reimbursement. So you click this one. It'll take some time to load up here. If it takes forever to load this page, you might want to clear your browser cache and cookies. I will not talk about that in this video, but if you have any questions, let me know. I'll show you how to clear your browser cache. But once you got into this page, what you're going to do is you're going to fill up all this field. For business purpose, if you attended a conference, you click conference. If this is your training class, you can click educations. In my case, I am renewing my CPA, CPE membership, so I can just click order. And event name, it is very important that you input the correct information here. So in our letter, it specifically said that you should enter the pre-approval request ID first into the event name field. So this is what they're talking about. So in the event name, you're going to put in your request ID. So 1 dash something. So I copy this and you put this here. It is one of the most important steps because a lot of people put this ID into the pre-authorization number, which is not correct. So you put in the pre-approval request ID in the event name. For locations, it's really tricky, but I would just recommend you to put San Francisco, unless you go to other state. In this case, it is an online class. I can just put in San Francisco, but you cannot just type San Francisco here. You have to put the state first. So I put CA comma, and it start popping up all the locations, but you can still type. So I'm going to keep typing CA comma space, and I start typing SAN Francisco. I keep typing, and when you keep typing, it'll just keep searching it for you, so you can just select it. Okay, so make sure that you put CA comma space, then you can type your location here. If you go to other state, you might have to do the same thing. Type the state first, comma, space, and then the locations. The magnify glass it's not too easy to use. So it's really not too user friendly. So you can try that as well. But that's how the format looks like. You cannot just type in San Francisco. I can show you. If you just type in San Francisco, it's not working. It said no matching value was found. I don't know. So it's something that you really have to watch this video to figure it out. So CA, comma, space, San Francisco. Just keep typing. And pre-authorization number, this is where you input your department and your unit name. So in this case, I am DPH Fiscal. You want to abbreviate everything because this has a limited character. If I keep typing, you see this is it. If I keep typing, it's not going anywhere. So abbreviate it if possible. And you can attach your receipt here. I choose to do it here, so attach receipt. And what kind of documents we need? It is all these 5 documents. So the pre-approval letters and etc. Everything. So you can just click add attachment, my device, and let's say I want to attach my pre-approval letter, open, upload, and you click done, and you can attach more documents here. So in this video, I don't want to waste up your time. So for you, you have to attach all 5 documents. You might have more. And then once you're done, you click this done button, and you click add expense. And your expense ID here is saved. I always hit save button just in case you lost it. You can come back. So because I didn't input anything here and I click save, I have some error message, but it's okay. So the date, just leave it the day it is. Expense type, you're going to click look up expense type, the magnify glass here, and you go to all types. So if you don't see the right types here, you go to all types. In this case, most of the time for tuition reimbursement, you will click educational reimbursement, unless you have other stuff that is more relevant. So in this case, I will click education reimbursement. Or I can click membership as well, because it was a CPE membership. You can also do membership, but I'll stick with education reimbursement here. Description, just briefly describe it. I'll just say CPA, CPE, 1 AM membership. Reimbursement method, leave it, direct deposit. Do not change them, otherwise you don't get your money back. Reimbursement amount, in this case, it is $149. If you forgot to attach your documents, you can also attach it here. But I already did. So accounting field, you click this, and you have to update your budget chart field. So where you get this, you go back to your pre-approval request. So the pre-approval request gives you this money. This is the budget where you need this in order to fund your reimbursement. So account code and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy the account code first. And you go back here. So the account code is different. So you paste it. Fund ID, it is 10020, and it's different. You have to update it. Department ID, update it. Authority, same thing. Hi, okay, here we go. Update your authority. You scroll to the right a little bit. You don't need agency use. It will be blank because it doesn't say anything about agency use. PC bus unit, leave it SFGov. It is going to be the same. Now project ID. Project ID, you have to update them. Although they are all pre-populated, but they will be different. And the last one is the activity code. Activity ID is 0007. So once you updated all this, you will just click done. And you always want to save your work, so hit save. So now you have all your documents here, and your accounting budget has been updated. Now you can click review and submit. So you click this, review and submit, and you can click submit again. And you have to certify that the data contained in this expense report is accurate and complies, so you click submit again. And now you see that you successfully submitted. So this is saying awaiting for approval. So I just submitted another expense report. It is duplicated. This is just for me to demonstrate the process. So that's it. You submitted your expense report, and your supervisor now need to approve this. And when your supervisor approved it, it will go to DHL and it will come back to fiscal and we will approve them. So let's click one of the expense report. So let's click this one. And you can view all the details and everything. You can tell that, okay, I submitted an expense report and my supervisor approved it, and now it is pending approval by the expense manager. So you can see the road path right now. So this is in process. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always email fiscal and look for the person who handle expense report if you have any questions. Hope you find this video useful and have a good day. Thank you.